Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Second in Command podcast. My name is Timothy Simons.
I am Matt Walsh.
We used to be a Veep rewatch podcast, but now we do this. We examine the politics of cinema in the cinema about politics. In cinema about politics. I told you we'd fuck it up.
You did.
Yeah.
Or we just watch movies with presidents and vice presidents.
Say that.
Oh, my God. We have such an old friend, don't we?
We do.
Us today.
You heard his voice a second ago. We should probably just...
Patrick Fischler, welcome to the show.
Fischler.
You guys, it's a pleasure. I'm so psyched to be here, for real.
It's been so long. Did you ever come on our Veep rewatch?
No.
We never got him on our Veep rewatch.
No, we didn't.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure we reached out.
Never.
You were probably busy.
Nope, I say yes to everything.
No, you were busy or out of town. I guarantee
okay.
you. I'm going to go
may
through
have.
some emails and prove it, but we did reach out because you're a center character for one significant episode.
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like to bring up about that
about
one?
Veep?
About Veep, yeah.
I loved it. I
Yeah.
really did. That was so early. Don't forget, that was like season 1, episode 6. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I don't think I just knew the show was good, but no one else. It hadn't even premiered, So and then it became Veep.
Yeah.
And
So-
we also we shot all of that at Camden Yards.
Yes, that was very cool.
That was
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah, that's when you guys shot in Baltimore. Oh my God! See, that's how long ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I see it in LA.
Yeah.
For those later years. But yeah, it was great. I had a blast. You were all very nice.
You were a good guest.
One of
were
you
fun.
was really nice. The other one was fine.
Tony Hale wasn't nice.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, that's good for people to know, though, because he has this really wonderful image.
That's the thing about Hollywood, man.
friendliness.
I know.
You can really cultivate like a front-facing personality that does not match what's behind the scenes.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah. Thank
Tony,
you.
you can't respond to this yet. You just have to stay up. We'll bring you in for the question and answer session to defend yourself. So just stay over there for right now.
He looks
He's in
good.
the wings. He does look good.
Patrick.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask this right off the top
Okay.
because you worked with David Lynch more than once.
Yes.
And also in the most terrifying scene in all of film history.
God, it's so weird when people say that, but I guess so.
It was something way before I knew you.
Yes.
Completely emotionally scarred by that scene in Mulholland Drive.
Yes.
And he obviously, like most people know, he passed away recently. And I just wanted to ask you about your experiences with knowing David Lynch, working with him, what kind of relationship you guys had.
Man, it's a loss. Like, for real. He was an incredible human being.
Yeah.
He was truly that. I've said this, but they always say don't meet your heroes. Meet your heroes if it's David Lynch.
Yeah.
Because he was everything I wanted. He changed the way I watched movies when I was 14 and saw Blue Velvet. I was like, oh, I didn't know this is what movies could be. And then he changed the way I saw TV when I watched Twin Peaks in college. And I was like, wait, TV is not just what I thought it was. It's so much more. And then the biggest thing, he changed me as an actor when I did Mulholland Drive, because there's all the work I did before I worked with him, and then there's everything after. It's completely different.
Can I ask you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, what was your takeaway
what were
from
you
working with
doing
him?
before and then after?
Before I was just doing too much. I mean, I could go back. I don't watch most of what I do, but I could go back and watch everything pre-99, and because that's when we shot Mulholland Drive, I think it was 99. And everything before, I'm like muggy and not comfortable, and I'm like not enough. And when we did Mulholland Drive, and all I got was that scene. It got, he doesn't audition actors, so I don't know if everybody knows this. He never auditions actors. You go in and you talk to a casting director, and they ask you questions about your life. And that's why in a lot of Lynch movies, there's some weird performances, because those people aren't actors. He never saw them read a line of dialogue. He just thought they were cool. And so he put them in his movie. And so I went and talked to Joanna Ray, who was the casting director, and I'm, I guess, 28 or something like that. And then I get a call saying, you're getting a part. It was a ABC pilot, Mulholland Drive. It was not a movie.
Really?
And
I
yes.
wanted to ask you something
Yes.
about that too.
So
yeah.
we're all like, oh, it's a pilot for ABC. And I didn't know what the fuck it was about. I just knew I got that scene. And when I got it, I freaked out. And I'm like, wait, I have a giant monologue. And he's never seen me do this. So we go to the diner that we shot at in Torrance. And I do the rehearsal. And lovely David just comes up and sits down next to me in the booth, and he's like, "That was great." I do a terrible imitation. I'm not that guy, but I'll still do it. He's like, "That was great, Patrick. That was just great." I'm like, "Thank you." And he's like, "But, you had a bad dream." I'm like, "Right." And he goes, "That's it. You've had bad dreams, right?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh." And I realized what he's doing is he's telling me, just bring it down, without saying bring it down. And I said, yeah, I think I know what you mean. He goes, pats me on the back and goes, "You're enough."
Oh,
and I'm literally,
Whoa.
Yep. And he said that, and insecure me, while he was saying all this, was like, "Oh, I'm going to get fired." And then some part of me, when he gave me that hand on my shoulder and said, "You're enough," I was like, "Oh, I've been doing this wrong for the last many years." And it all like that snapped, and I didn't get one more note from him, and we shot that whole fucking thing inside. The whole walk, the sweat, the fear, all of it. It just was like, oh, I totally get it. And then post that, I realized, just be me, and whatever version of me is enough.
That's like beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah.
My
To have that
God.
connection too with an actor, like to really, like you said, because we all like, oh, I totally misunderstood how to do this. Like if a director comes in and gives you a note, and then you're like, oh, totally missed it. Then you feel insecure. But he delivered it in a way that like he literally had physical connection, and he meant, which made you feel, oh, he means it.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be here if you weren't enough, man.
100%.
Yeah.
And it
that-
just was everything for me. I
Yeah.
mean, really.
Would he ever, or did you ever ask? Because you then worked with him later on Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah.
Was there ever an attempt by him to explain in any way what was being
Mulholland Drive?
or like honestly, any of it was it just like, was he just trying to get you guys to play the scene and not worry about the stuff?
Well, I'm only in that scene, so that's all I was playing. And what is, this is so long ago, but people don't realize, I think that we were agents. Me and that guy. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's talking to a shrink," or they're like Wall Street dudes. And I'm like, no, we were like agents. And my guess is we were maybe going to represent her later, Naomi, like as an act, like in some way. Everything was Hollywood related in that movie, in that TV show, you know. And then when ABC passed, which of course they did,
Yeah.
a year later, I get a letter from him saying, "Studio Canal has given me a little money to turn our pilot into a movie. Would you be willing to come back for scale?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, I'll go back for free." And to shoot that one moment when she's in the diner at the end of the movie with the hitman, and she looks over to the cash register and I'm standing there, that was added for the movie. You know, and so basically he doesn't explain anything. I don't think he wants to. I think he wants you to understand the moment you're in, but not in connection to the whole thing. So for Twin Peaks, again, I got a call saying, "Would you be?" And I was like, no one needs to ever ask. The answer is always yes. If David Lynch asked me to do anything, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So they delivered sides that they couldn't leave at my house for the scenes in Twin Peaks: The Return, which is basically like 6 scenes, all in an office. None of it do I know how it's connected to the story. I have no idea what's going on. Of course, I said yes. We shot it all in a day. You don't ask him questions like, "Wait, who am I talking about here?" None of it. You just find it, and that's it. And that's kind of what I did. I remember, I think Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tom Sizemore I worked with that day, and they had the exact same experience. They had not read the scripts. They weren't given the scripts. They just lived in their own world of the show.
So on that day when you're going in to start shooting that one, was there ever a word from David like, "Are you ready?" Like I know you know the deal at that point. You're going in and you have a limit, you have the pages that you have, and so it's a very small view of the complete thing. But when you're actually there on the day, do you have any memory of your on-set first encounter?
Oh, hug.
Oh.
I mean, giant hug.
Hug?
And as if I had seen him, because at that point it's 20 years.
Okay.
As if I had seen him, I don't know, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like giant.
Welcome.
Yes.
Okay.
And he aged, I aged. We weren't the same people, but it was like right back in. And I'll tell, this is maybe the best story ever is I had all the scenes. We're in the middle of shooting them, and all in this office. I would just change costumes. So all of a sudden, it gets really quiet. We finished a scene. It gets really quiet, and I look around, and everybody's sort of standing there, not moving, and everyone's very quiet. And I asked sort of the AD who's by me what's happening, and she said, David's in a transcendental meditation. At that moment, he went into a meditation in his chair, and I was like, okay. So we're all like sitting and waiting, and then he comes out of it, and I see him grab a piece of paper and a pen, and he starts writing. And the script supervisor comes over to me, and she hands me and this other actor. She goes, David just wrote you guys a new scene. She hands me this paper. She goes, do not keep that. Give that back to me. I'm like, of course. So I read this scene, and I totally get the character in a way I didn't get it in the stuff we'd already shot from this. And it's the first scene of mine in the show. And it talks about this, why do you let him do this to you? Or it's all just mystery. So, of course, we memorize it. What do? I fold the paper and put it in my pocket.
You did?
I have it in our guest bathroom.
Yes.
Framed, and it is one of my most prized possessions. I was like thinking, there's no way I'm giving this paper back to you, or you're crazy if you think you're getting it back. It's David's handwriting after a transcendental meditation for Twin Peaks: The Return. Someone could come for it now if they want it. I don't have it.
No, I think the law would be on your side.
Thank you.
You've had it long enough.
I've had it long enough.
Yeah.
I didn't know the thing about Mulholland Drive being a pilot and then being a movie after. And when I found that out, and I had just rewatched Mulholland Drive recently, that is the thing that feels impossible that you could somehow make like one of the best movies ever about Los Angeles, about the entertainment industry, from a scrapped ABC pilot and make it an Oscar-worthy film.
I know.
And he just seems to be the kind of guy, and again, I never met him, I'm just a huge fan of his, where it was just, he would just be like, yeah, I just did that because I'm David Lynch and I can do that. Because I'm that good at this.
I think he felt that strongly about it. That's what I think. Some part of him was like, I have to tell a Hollywood tale. I've told it. Let me extend it. I think the pilot is pretty much intact, you guys. It's like the first hour and 25 minutes of the movie is the pilot. Like that is when we get to the lesbian love scene and all of that latter stuff, that's the movie. But it's weird if you rewatch it again, really with that knowledge, you're like, oh, where would episode 2? What would happen in episode 9? Like, where the hell is this all going? It's kind of fantastic. I mean, he's a genius. He was a genius.
That's I don't know.
Did you ever get into transcendental meditation?
No.
I wish I did too.
I know. It's never too late.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But that's beautiful. And he popped off in his chair and everybody's like respectfully.
Yeah, everyone respects that's
doing their work quietly.
Because he uses a bullhorn. Like, I'm not kidding. Like 1930s, as if he's, Cecil B. DeMille. It's amazing. He would talk through the bullhorn. He wouldn't get up a lot later, especially. During Twin Peaks, I would go to him if I had a question. Otherwise, it would be bullhorned. Or someone would come up to me, it's kind of, it's unbelievable.
That's so cool.
I know. It was really magic.
All right. So if you like what you're listening to, guys, guess what?
You can find the rest of it on Patreon. All you got to do is you go to patreon.com/second in command and subscribe for $5 a month, and you have access to the entire Veep rewatch catalog, which you cannot get anywhere else, and
lots of bonus content.
And you
the rest of this episode,
the rest of this episode that you were enjoying. So we'll see you over there, patreon.com/second in command. And here's one other thing: if you sign up on your mobile browser or on desktop, you will avoid a 30% upcharge from Apple. So if you want to pay Apple more money to get the same content, you absolutely can. After you sign up on your mobile web browser or your desktop, you can then use the app and you won't get that 30% upcharge. Just letting you know.
I think I understand what you mean.